So we are in front of PetSmart at the Nut Tree Plaza, and right now Augie's just wondering. So when you want to get him into heel position, where I've taught him to walk at my side, you want to bring your hand down and kind of wave it a little bit back like this, and that's the signal to get him into heel position. So Auggie, heel. Yes, he does beautifully with that. And after he gets into position, you want to reward him so that the treat is right beside your leg here. You can either kind of bend sideways or you can bend your knees if you are a tall person and he is way down there. I reward him both for staying in heel position once I've asked him to be there, as well as for walking with me. Now, if he gets distracted like this, if he tries to go really far, you want to hold the leash so that he doesn't pull you. So if he starts pulling against the leash and your arm travels out farther, then the leash gets longer, and that is rewarding him for pulling when it's tight. But if you just hold fast and whoop, he's not going to get anywhere, right there he reached the end of the leash, it's not going out at all, then that teaches him when the leash is tight, don't keep pulling, you need to come back to the person who's walking you. So let me just move aside. There's someone coming. Here, Auggie. Good boy. Noisy cart. We'll wait for that to pass. There you go. So when he gets distracted, you want to stop. Don't let the leash pull your hand out, and then get him back into heel position. So Auggie, heel. Good boy. Yes. And now when he's actually walking successfully next to you, good boy, Auggie. So someone walked by, I'm rewarding him for just glancing at the person, but basically staying with me. And again, he got distracted, so Auggie, heel. Good boy. Now we're going to walk forward again. Yes, good boy. When he's successfully walking next to me, I'm going to reward him. Auggie, good. Good boy. You can see he's pretty distracted right now. He keeps leaving my side to sniff around. That's normal. He has, I don't think we have been to this store yet. At least definitely not from this direction. So his first time here, lots of smells, he's distracted. So it's totally normal for him to not be as focused with his healing, be looking around, wanting to sniff. So when you see that this is happening, that he is struggling, you want to reward more often. So I'm spending a lot of time talking, not a lot of time praising Auggie or rewarding him for being by my side. So I'm going to switch now to using a high rate of reward. So I'll get him back to my side first. Auggie, heel. I'm not pulling out treats in order to make him listen. I'm telling him what I want him to do. Good boy. Yes. And then when he does it, I'm going to reward more frequently. So walk a little forward, redirect him if needed. Auggie. Good. Reward. Good boy. Auggie. Yes. Rewarding again quickly. Good boy, Auggie. Good job. You sniffed there without pulling, so that's totally fine. And just keeping up. Yes. Good boy. The treat's coming as he's walking next to me. Yes. Good boy. So this is a high rate of reward. Yes. It's normal. Auggie? Come on, Auggie. There you go. It's normal for him to need a very high rate of reward at a new place at this stage of training. This way. Auggie? Heel. Good. Yes. Good boy. When people are passing, I give them extra treats. My bad. For staying with me, heel, and not going up to the people to sniff or bark. Occasionally, Auggie does bark at people, mostly if they're walking right towards him. He gets a little nervous, yes. And then he'll alarm bark at them. And so in order to help him be more comfortable, yes, and not do that, Auggie, yes. Then I reward him for sticking with me, yes, calmly, when people are passing by, and especially when people are walking towards us. Yes, good boy. High rate of reward. Yes, good boy. You see how he started to speed up, and then he slowed down to match my pace? That's really nice. Yes, and I definitely want to reward him when he does that. We're going to turn around, put a U-turn. Yes, good job. When I'm saying yes, that means you did the right thing. A treat is coming your way. Yes. So rather than holding food in my hand all the time, my hand is empty. Yes. And he knows that he did the right thing when he hears that, and then I have a couple seconds to reach into my pocket or my treat pouch and pull out his rewards. Which, by the way, yes, this is a great thing to use his kibble for, because I'm having to give him so many to have him be successful in this distracting location. Yes. So I can just use his whole breakfast or his whole dinner for training when he's out in public. Yes. And then he can get a lot of rewards, learn really clearly what I expect of him, heel. Good. But I'm not worried about, oh no, I'm giving him so many treats, so many calories, so much junk food. It's all just his healthy kibble, which he loves anyway. Yes. So there he was pulling a little bit, so I stopped, just held the leash tight, and then he reoriented. Oh my gosh, the rain is really coming down. We're going to hide here. Good boy. Okay. Stopped under an overhang. Wow, it just really started coming down. Okay, so this is a distracting spot because we're right in front of store doors here. But let's see if we can get him to do a stay. Auggie, sit. So the hand signal for sit is a hand raising up, not jumping. Just a hand raising up like that, and of course the word sit. He doesn't get a reward every single time he sits. At this point, he only gets one sometimes. He doesn't need one every time. If I want him to stay, stay. The hand signal like a traffic cop. And then I can step back. I can turn away from him, look away, and he's staying. And as he is being a good boy and staying, stay, I'm going to come back and reward him as he is doing the correct behavior. Yes, good boy. Good job. Stay. And then I always remind him what I want him to do. If he makes a mistake, sit, but stay. All I do is come back, remind him what I want him to do, and we try again. Stay. Now he failed twice in a row there. Yes. That tells me this was a little too hard for him. Stay. Again, that's because we're in a brand new place. There's a lot going on. The rain's coming down. There's people walking by. So it's totally fine, just a stage of training, that he will not be able to confidently stay while I walk farther away from him. Stay. So to get him through that, I'm not going to go quite as far, and I'm going to return and reward him as he is successfully staying. Yes. Stay. And then over time, I will move farther away, and he will be more confident. Good job. Two people walked by, and he just stayed so nicely. Stay. One last one. I'm going to move a bit farther away again. And you see now he's more confident. Now I was able to walk farther away. Yes. Because I just helped him along with an easier step, and then he was like, okay, I got it. Now at the end, stay. I always let him know when he is done and he is allowed to get up. And just like with stay, just like with waiting at the door, the word for that is free. Yay, good boy. And he gets rewarded when he gets up, because that's a cue that I want him to respond to. And so I will reward him when he gets up on cue. You did very well there, Auggie. That was really awesome. So we'll see. Okay, raise it up a little bit. We'll go over to the entrance of PetSmart and walk around in the store. We're starting in the aquarium aisle because there's less distracting stuff for dogs, like no dog or cat food or treats or toys. I'm going to get him back where I want him to be, heel. Good boy, and we're going to walk down the aisle a bit. Yes, good job. Auggie, heel. Good. Yes, good job. And now stores are great places to practice weights. Good. Your sit stays, down stays, leave it, because of all the distractions there, along with the leash walking. Auggie, let's go. Good. Leave it. Yes, good boy. So there, for example, is a good leave it. Okay. Heel. Heel. Good boy. Nice. Yes. Good boy. Heel. Good boy. So this gave him a little bit of a hint, but actually he was like, all right, I'd stay with you. He's starting to catch himself when he speeds ahead. And he's actually supposed to be with me, which is really nice. My bad there. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, is that a big noise? Yeah, good job. We'll go further down, different aisle. Good boy. Good job, Auggie. Totally fine if he sniffs as long as the leash is loose. Good boy. Yes, nice job. Okay, so let's go down here. So let's go down this aisle. Good dog. So you see he caught himself in that heel position. Come here, Auggie. Come here. Here, sit. Sit. Good job. Now, let me practice looking at the merchandise here. Sit. Good job. Stay. And now I'm going to turn over here. Just poking at stuff. Oh, look, I'm looking at merchandise. And he is staying, so I come back, reward him. Yes, as he is staying. Stay. Remind him what I want him to do. I can turn away again, turn over here, got my back turned on him. Good boy, nice job. Good, and then free. Nice job, good boy. He knows, okay, the stay is done. Swap a little more, so when we practice, leave it. Yes, good boy. Just like when we did the wait, where I had it sound a little different from my normal speech, same thing with the leave it. I say it a little bit more sharply, not yelling, not scolding him, but it's just different from my usual soft talking voice. And what he should do is exactly what he did. Stop whatever he's sniffing, heel, and look up at me and not go back to trying to eat or sniff whatever he was going after. So let me do that again next time that he starts sniffing the merchandise. Leave it. Yes, good boy. Again, you heard it just sounds a little different. I reward him as soon as he turns and looks up at me. Leave it. Yay, good boy. Lovely. So that was mid-sniff. Good job. And you'll see I'm feeding him multiple rewards when he does this. Good job. Because this is a difficult behavior for him. Auggie loves to put stuff in his mouth, especially the smaller it is. Yes. The more he's going to try to put it into his mouth. And so I need to really pay him for doing a good job. With the leave it. So good boy. So that he is motivated to really ignore whatever it is that he was trying to eat and just turn and pay attention to me. So you're going to want to keep that up. Have, even if the only thing you have on hand to reward him is his kibble, if you praise him a lot and give him a few pieces of kibble in a row, that's going to be a much bigger deal than if you give one, good dog, and then hand him one piece and then move on. You want to really motivate him to respond to the leave it. And leave it is for, he's checking something out. He looks like he's maybe going to put it in his mouth. Drop it is for when something is actually fully in his mouth. And I'll see if I can find the toy that he might put in his mouth and we can practice that. Let's see. Let's go to the toy aisle. What a good boy. Yes. So I could have rewarded him as he was sitting nicely. I decided just to randomize it. In that case, I didn't. By rewarding him, we started walking together. Even when you're giving the rewards frequently, you don't want to be super predictable with exactly when. Off. Good dog. So off means get your paws down from there. And I leaned in so that I could, gently but firmly remove him. But he actually saw me leaning in, and he recognizes at this point that means that I'm going to remove him from putting his paws up. So he went ahead and got down just because I said off and leaned in. So he is learning not to jump up towards counters or shelves or what have you. Okay, Auggie, heel. Good job. Good boy. With Michelle's, I don't really care, so whatever. I'm not going to never let him sniff stuff. you just want to sometimes practice to leave it and use it mostly when there's something that you really don't want him to get into. Especially if we're in a pet store, probably someone peed right there. So as long as he's not peeing on it, if he's just sniffing it, that's part of just letting him be a dog. Okay, ready? But I do want you to walk really nicely. Good boy. Okay. So let's grab one of these little toys. Auggie, drop it. Yes. Good job. So when you want him to drop something that's in his mouth, good boy, the cue is drop it. And the way that we practiced this was that I had a treat, and in this case I'm using a piece of string cheese, so a higher value treat, and I offered it to him to trade. And I put it into my hand so he can smell it, but then I can open it when he has earned the food. So in this way, when he has something in his mouth and you say drop it and you put your closed fist out, that becomes a signal for please drop what's in your mouth. And as soon as the dog does, you can open it because he's doing it down. He's practicing that. So you have your verbal cue and you have your hand signal to get the dog to put down whatever's in their mouth. So I'm letting him get engaged with this toy again. He really likes these cow hooves. In fact, when we're at home, I can't leave them out because he will guard them from the other dogs. But when he's on his own, this is a nice treat for him to have. Drop it. Good. So he responded just to the words there because he's learned when I say drop it, the next thing that happens is the hand signal comes out with the treat and he's perfectly willing to drop it. Now you can see he then goes back to the toy. If I wanted him to not go back to the toy, I would say leave it. Although, I know I did say it. Good boy. So let's go ahead and talk about getting Auggie to lie down. So the way that we started this was that I would put my leg out to make a little bridge here. And what he would do is I would show him the food and he would go underneath my leg and you can see he would lie down because there wasn't a lot of room for him to reach through to get the treats. And he has learned, good boy, free, nice job. He has learned at this point to do it for a hand signal, which is my hand lowering down to the ground. So usually I ask him to sit first, so sit, good boy, down, there you go, yes. And what he still does as a side effect of all the lowering we did is that he'll really bump my hand with his nose down. But that's okay, I don't have anything in my hand anymore. He's checking, but I don't need to actually have anything in my hand. Once he does lie down, then I'm going to reach over with a treat, good, and reward him. Now, you want to make sure that when you hand the treat to him, your hand is not up here, turn sideways, because then that's going to encourage him to get up toward the treat. You want to put your hand down by his feet so that his whole body stays low to the ground. So otherwise, he's likely to get up again in order to follow the treat. In fact, I test him. So we failed the test. Down. If I do this and I tempt him and he gets up, he loses the treat. But if he's patient, the treat then comes all the way down to the ground and then I hand it to him. And so you want to sometimes practice this. And, just think of it as a game that you're playing with him. Can you resist? Ooh, let's see how you do. Oh, good boy, yeah. And when the treat comes down, that's when he's earned it. And that builds a much stronger down and down stay compared to if you were always feeding from above and he started rising up to get the treat from your hand up there. And you want to just keep a firm hold on the treat because he does, again, kind of push into my hand to get the treat out of my hand. And so if you let him push, he's going to end up crawling across the ground or walking, getting up and walking. So you want to hold your hand in place as he's getting the treat. So in terms of turning this into a stay, that's the exact same as a sit stay. So stay, I can get up, I can walk around, He's stronger with the sit stay than the down stay. We've practiced it more. Sit. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, you sat over there? Okay, that's fine with me. Down. Stay. So I just leaned down so I could get my hand most of the way to the ground to show him to lie down. Stay. And then, you move around a little bit. You can turn in a circle. You can do the hokey pokey. Put your leg in and out, and he stays. As he is successfully staying, you hand him a treat. And you can see he's like, ooh, it's coming. But it goes all the way to the ground. That he holds that down position as the treat is coming to him. You want to practice this at home and in public in short bursts. Be mindful. Auggie doesn't like lying down where it's cold and wet because he has very thin fur. And he gets cold. He is a nice, fit French Bulldog. Stay. He doesn't have a lot of fat on him to keep him warm. So you might want to also consider getting a coat for him. He's been shivering on these cold, rainy days. And he doesn't really want to lie down where it's like cold and wet. And I would say that's reasonable, so I don't make him do it for very long. Yes. Free. Oh, darn it. He got up right as I said free. I did say it, so I am going to give him a treat. But try not to let that happen. Try to say free before he actually gets up. Okay, let's take a break. Let's start some more.